fine. All right. Let's wrap this up by talking about some. Let's get it back onto a happier note. Let's talk about we're halfway through the season, and unfortunately, the midway of the point of the season has been ruined by bad ref talk. So let's talk about the good things that have happened this season. Let's talk about some mid-season awards. Some guys that you think prediction-wise going into the second half of the season, who are the division winners, conference champions, Super Bowl champions, and we'll get into the specific awards, Coach of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Rookies of the Year, all that stuff. We'll talk about it all. I want to start big picture. Let's start with the teams.
Okay.
I have the odds here. Let's start with the AFC. I have the odds for the division winners.
Okay.
Baltimore in the North right now leads their division with a negative 175 or minus 175 to win the division. Cleveland is plus 420. Pittsburgh is plus 550. And Cincinnati, shockingly, is all the way down to plus 600. Then over in the AFC East, well, let's stay with those numbers there in the AFC North. In the AFC North. I think that Cincinnati plus 600 is very surprising.
Say more. What is the plus 600?
That means if you put down $100 to say that Cincinnati is going to win the AFC North this year, your return back would be $600 plus dollars. So you get a $700 check back to your account. Whereas to win $100, Baltimore, you have to put down $175 to get a $275 return.
Yeah.
So, they're saying it is a long shot. Like, the disparity between Baltimore winning and this disparity between Cincinnati winning the division is that far apart.
And that's as of, last night?
Yeah, this was this was as of today, this morning.
Okay.
So that one I'm kind of shocked about. That I feel like that's a dangerously no. If you are confident in Cincinnati, if you feel like Cincinnati last night or on Sunday was a little bit of an anomaly, I'd say, hey, go put $100 down. That's a free $600 that FanDuel is giving away.
And that sounds great until the Monday night game started, and I'm like, no, because obviously somebody wants Pittsburgh in the picture here. Cause...
Well, I mean, if that's the case, I feel like Vegas would have had them higher, plus 550.
Maybe there's money to be made a little bit later.
We'll see. Up. All right. AFC East-wise, I think this is a runaway. Buffalo right now is at a minus 700. So you have to put down $700 to get $100 back.
I even make the bet.
New England, though, is at a plus 440. Miami is plus 20,000. The New York Jets, surprisingly, not the longest odds to win their division, plus 95,000 right now to win the division. I feel like clearly they're out of it, so we'll leave that there.
Right.
But Miami plus 20,000.
What if you put down 100?
You put down 100, you're getting 20,000 back.
I mean,
you put down 1,000, you're getting 200,000 back.
I jerked off $100 for a lot less with no type of return. But
hey, plus it's Jacoby Brissett, it's not Tua.
I get it, but they not gonna win a division. It's just giving away $100. I understand what I could return, but I'm like, oh my god, there's so many moving parts for that.
Okay, but then New England plus 440. I think they do have a good shot, especially if Buffalo is going to keep playing the way that they freaking have.
That's viable. I mean, it could happen. If there's anywhere to make to make it, I'm gonna take a shot. I would take it there, because it's already. So you seen what happened with Buffalo? Come on, man, they're losing to freaking Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So, they're not necessarily guaranteed to take the division per se.
Well, the South, I think, is also pretty egregious. With the first two anyway. Tennessee minus 5,000 to win the division. I know they swept the series with Indianapolis, and I get that, but still, there's a lot of questions with Tennessee right now, especially with them losing Derrick Henry. Minus 5,000 to win the division. Those are odds. I would just take the odds against them at that point.
Gotcha.
Not saying that specifically Indy is going to win, just that Tennessee won't win.
Got it.
But
that very well may be.
but Indy is plus 1900.
Okay.
So those odds right there, those two back to back, just baffled me. I was shocked when I saw that come across the screen.
Interesting numbers there.
Because that's as of this morning, knowing that Derrick Henry's not going to be here for the stretch run. I know they do have a pretty easy schedule on the way out.
Yep.
But still, that one I was just like, wow, that's not a team that I'm fully like 100% backing, only because again they lost Derrick freaking Henry. They lost their leading rusher.
Right.
AFC West is pretty close though. Chargers are plus 140. Kansas City Chiefs are plus 175 this morning. The Raiders are plus 450. Denver plus 750. I like the Chargers at plus 140, especially with the way Kansas City's been playing recently. But I also still like Kansas City at plus 175.
So
they can get it figured out. Right?
So you put down 100 and you get 275 back
for Kansas City?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, got it. And the Chargers, I like that one. 140?
Yep.
Even better.
Yeah. And then if you look over at the NFC, Green Bay leads the North with a minus 1100. Minnesota is second in that with a plus 850. Chicago to win the division plus 9,000.
It'd be 19,000.
Well, Detroit is a plus 100,000 to win the division.
Why do we even have a number? So it's a mathematical impossibility.
Yes.
What is that? It's just never gonna happen.
Absolutely not. That's a number that you just insurmountable.
The Bill Gates of the world in here, they will give up their whole fortune trying to see that.
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
Dallas in the East is a minus 1,700. On the flip, Philadelphia is a plus 1,700. Washington is a plus 4,800. And the Giants are also a plus 4,800, which is funny because they all have the same record Philadelphia and the Giants are both 3-6, and then the Washington football team is 2-6 at the moment. So I just found that to be a funny little disparity that they have with those odds there. But I think this one is a runaway for the Dallas Cowboys here. Tampa Bay in the South leads it with a minus 650. New Orleans is a plus 500. I think that should be a higher number based off of the fact that the way that they just played against Atlanta. But Atlanta themselves are plus 3,900, and Carolina rounds out the pack at plus 6,500. And then in the West, Arizona is minus 210. The Rams are plus 195, which I think is a steal to take right there. Rams plus 195. Seattle is plus 4,500, and San Francisco is out of it with plus 8,500.
And what is Arizona again?
Minus 210.
So
you got to put down 210 to win back 100. Win a 310 pot.
Small odds.
No, I'm not doing that. But I love the Rams at plus 195.
Right.
Like I even though they lost that one game, they still have another game to go against Arizona. Plus they're plus. Granted, they did just get absolutely ramrodded by Tennessee, but I do think that they'll bounce back. That offense will look completely different this upcoming week. Yeah. Defense will step up better, especially once they get it figured out with Von Miller and where he can step in. And hey, never know, they might get OBJ.
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, speaking of Vegas, Desean Jackson goes and signs with Vegas just 2 days ago.
Did he sign?
He got signed. He got pulled.
Okay.
So he's over there.
Gotcha.
I already told you they always go get some journeyman wide receiver. That's just kind of what Jalen Reagor. Just saying, there's work for you after Philadelphia.
Yeah. No, I got you.
There's a place for you.
Yeah. So I just thought it was. I wanted to throw out those odds. Let people dabble in those. But are there any non-favorites that you would take to win their division right now? Out of those 8 divisions,
the one I would probably burn the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams are mine. I honestly I might go do that today. Take the Rams at plus 195.
I wasn't taking the Rams. Probably New England. I think that's the safer one.
The save is over Kansas City plus 175.
No. Were you saying? I'm just basing it on them winning that division.
Yeah, you don't think Kansas City at plus 175 good odds to take them there to win over LA?
I'm telling you.
I know it's hard with Kansas City right now,
I'm just
but
down. I mean, I like the number, but I don't like the team.
And nobody over there in the AFC North.
Just don't believe Cincinnati is going to do that. And Pittsburgh missed me.
Okay.
So
well,
and I like it, but Indianapolis got swept, and that's like just asking too much. So you didn't leave me with nothing here. I mean, New England. I mean,
okay.
Kansas City would be the next one, but I don't like what I'm seeing over there.
No, the favorites right now are really they're strong favorites. So, but the Rams I think is the best one.
I was saying New England just on the upside. At least they have don't look so grim over there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not a good.
Not a good pull to pick from.
Not a good. Yeah, you're not giving me good choices here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk bigger picture. Let's talk about conference champions and their odds to win their respective conferences. So, AFC wise, we are looking at a Buffalo has the best odds to win the AFC right now at plus 250. Baltimore is at a plus 450. Tennessee is at a plus 600. Kansas City is still in the mix at a plus 650. Chargers are at plus 1,000. And Cleveland's at plus 1,300.
Still got Cleveland in there.
Yep.
Interesting.
I'm going to say it right now. I'm taking Buffalo.
Oh, absolutely.
There's I think Buffalo's still the strongest team. You have days like this against Jacksonville. Usually not this freaking egregious, but hey, stuff happens. But I do still believe in them. I do still think that they can win football games. I don't think we'll ever see their offense look as horrid as it did on Sunday.
I hope not.
I think Tennessee they do have an easier schedule, but I think when it comes down to playoff football, without Derrick Henry, there's no way they win the AFC, in my opinion, without Derrick Henry.
They have all day. What are you talking about?
Baltimore, with their receiving core, it's hard for me to choose them. And I think the other three teams, Kansas City, the Chargers, and Cleveland, are all really shaky right now. Granted, any one of them could figure it out. I think the Chargers have the best chances of figuring it out of those three teams and making that run. And I would not be shocked if they did. Also wouldn't be shocked if Kansas City did it either. But the Chargers, I think it would be the only team at that 4-digit number that I would take to win the AFC.
He's bringing up Cleveland. I got Cincinnati higher. I'm more higher on Cincinnati finishing than Cleveland. It's just Cleveland is they're a mess right now.
Yeah.
And moving on.
All right. NFC wise, then Tampa Bay is leading the pack at a plus 280 in the NFC. The Rams follow them up at plus 400. My pick. Arizona plus 450.
My pick.
Green Bay is at plus 500. Dallas is at plus 500, which actually kind of shocked me. I would suspect they would have Dallas a little bit higher. And then New Orleans actually rounds out the pack at plus 1,800.
Got them on my list.
Really?
This top 8.
Yeah.
At 8, 7. Them and Minnesota's at the round in the bottom. So.
Okay. Yeah, I just think the Rams are too good of a team in the NFC, especially getting better, and possibly even adding another piece coming up here.
Possibly.
I mean, even if they didn't, they got Cooper Kupp. They have Robert Woods. Darrell Henderson has looked like a featured back as of late. Matthew Stafford is looking like an MVP candidate. Just across the board, there are some. They are just one of the best teams in the NFL, and I do think that they are. Right now, if you ask me who do I think is going to line up in the Super Bowl, I'm taking Buffalo and the Rams to be those two teams.
Interesting. We shall see. No, I wouldn't be going based on the numbers. I'm not making any predictions.
What, Kansas City, Arizona?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about these kind of mid-season awards at this point. To this point, I want to save MVP for last.
Okay.
Let's start with Coach of the Year. Uh, I basically was going off of FanDuel's top, however many. They had some real big outliers out there, in my opinion. So I'm not going to talk about those. I have a top 4 for each of these awards. If you have a different one you want to add in there, just definitely throw it out there.
Top 4.
I have a top 4 that just from FanDuel site. And then I have my pick.
Go ahead.
Coach of the Year to me comes down to Cliff Kingsbury of Arizona,
Mhm.
Brandon Staley in LA, the Chargers,
Okay.
Tennessee's Mike Vrabel, and not my pick, but there's not too many other good choices. Dallas's Mike McCarthy.
I would possibly throw one more name in the hat.
Mhm.
Only I don't know the coach's name right now.
Where?
Cincinnati's coach.
Oh, Zach Taylor.
Yeah, Zach Taylor.
I agree with that.
I would throw it in that hat. I'm
Yeah.
not saying he should win it. I think he should be in the talk, the discussion.
I
that's
think to
legitimate.
this point, the winner right now. Who do you have as your winner of the Coach of the Year to this point?
Kingsbury.
Okay, I mean, I don't disagree with that. His odds are at plus 400, but I think to this point, Mike Vrabel has been the best head coach in the NFL.
How so?
I think his way of getting his team. Granted, Kingsbury has had a fantastic offensive game plan, and they have gotten their team to play up to in the best record in the NFL right now. I'm not taking anything away from Kingsbury.
They beat him in the head-to-head
I know that they did.
at Tennessee.
But Mike Vrabel also is winning games. He just went out there, and this could be recency bias, but with what he did up in from outside of that Arizona game and going through last night or Sunday rather.
You sound like me now. What is this? You know what? Stop. Kingsbury. Like I said, I get it, but that if they want to make that the odds, as much as I made this petition for Tennessee.
No, Kingsbury is the favorite at plus 400.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was
Mike Vrabel would be a dark horse to me, but to me myself, when I'm looking at all of the head coaches in the NFL,
go ahead. At that I can agree. I thought it was like over. I'm like, wait a minute.
No
way.
Mike Vrabel is at a plus 800 compared to the plus 400 of Kingsbury. You're taking the favorite right now to win it. But to me, I would take Mike Vrabel out of all the head coaches in the NFL. I understand that he lost the head-to-head to Kingsbury, but I do also attest that to having a more talent. But the way that Mike Vrabel has gotten his team to play up to the competition that he has gone against has been absolutely a feat to behold this season, especially with that game on Sunday going against a Rams team that is hotter than any team in the NFL outside of Arizona, obviously. And without their number one option on the offensive side of the ball, they played a fantastic game plan, and he got that defense to play better than it has in the last 6 years with still not having the talent. So that's where I'm just like, yes, Kingsbury, I understand why he's the favorite. I'm not taking anything away from him. I don't think that I think that he has definitely proven to all of his doubters that he is a definite comparable head coach in the NFL. But I do think Mike Vrabel has had a better coaching performance this year than what Kingsbury has done so far. And we'll see how it plays out throughout the remainder of the year.
I got 6 games that will challenge that. 6.
All right, let's go with Offensive Player of the Year. Not the rookies, just the vets. The 4 that led the list for me. Your dude, your guy, Cup.
The Cup.
He is at plus 130. Arizona's quarterback, Kyler Murray, even though he didn't play last week, is at plus 1,600.
Really got him? That's interesting.
Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis running back, plus 1,600 as well. And a dark horse, Arizona running back, James Conner, plus 2,000.
Interesting.
Out of those, I'm gonna just say it. I'm taking Kyler Murray. No shot at your cup, but I just feel like Kyler Murray has had the most impressive offensive season so far, where it just wasn't expected. I know we saw that they were coming along and they were trying to put this together, but I think me and a lot of other people had them being a year away from getting it all figured out.
Okay, and that's fine. And then
and for how young they are to be able to do this, what they're doing, and they're just dismantling teams.
It just seems like it speaks more to a shock value more than anything. Like I can't believe this that. Well, I already was there, so
you were. So you were on top of that this year.
Like the Kyler Murray was doing this last year. I mean, just because they wasn't giving them no play on TV, don't mean they wasn't doing it. But it's just. It's about looking at things when things are not popular.
Yeah.
Just so it's just that was one of those. Kyler Murray is doing exactly what he did last year, minus these freaking injuries. But but just in his own position, I'm just like, he ain't even the best at his position.
I know, and I'll get to that when we get to a different.
Plus, not taking anything away from what he's done. It's just like, damn, that's a hell of a pick when he ain't even the best at his position. But
okay. It's not all the times does the offensive player of the year
they
also
play their team, how they impact. I get all of that, and he has all of that. So I'm not knocking it. It was just I was shocked that was even on the list. Like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he's my pick too. I just
Well, mine is Cooper Kupp.
I know. I saw his name and I was like, oh yeah, there's without a doubt he's going Cooper
Kupp.
But it's funny because because I think a lot of people when we looked at the Rams, we said, well, we don't even know if Cooper Kupp is the number one on this team. We didn't know if it was him or Robert Woods.
True.
Plus, we were like, are either one of them a number one? Do they need another guy in there that is a bona fide number one to help them come in and still do what they can do? But Cooper Kupp said, nix all of that. I'm that dude. I am the best wide receiver in the league this year. Let's not get it twisted. We're going to win games. We just needed a damn quarterback to show you.
Exactly. So, a freaking quarterback to throw it to me. And I could have, you've seen flashes up until this point. And, yeah, he is clearly the number one.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I mean, you just look at the odds. Plus 130 compared to the plus 1,600 of Kyler Murray and Jonathan Taylor right behind him. Those are the two closest behind him.
Wow. Okay, so so he is my pick for offensive player of the year. I mean, man, come on, man. He's the only receiver with 1,000 yards right now.
Yeah,
I get it. He played 9 games. Someone played 8, but still, average game, yards.
He's not injured. He continues to get the targets. He continues to get the receptions. Continues to get in the end zone. So
10 touchdowns. Oh my God. Yeah. Like I said, 1,019 yards, 10 touchdowns at the midway point. I mean, the dude is on pace for 20 touchdowns, 2,000 yards.
Insane. I mean, I have no discrepancies with that.
With that being said, I'm sure that there's going to be 4 other candidates that can have just the strongest claim just in their own respective.
What I'm saying, dark horse to add to this list, if he can stay healthy for the rest of the season and he continues to do what he was doing before he got injured, David freaking Montgomery, dude.
That could be.
He was top 5 in rushing. I think he's still top 10 in rushing with the fact that he's been out for 3-4 weeks now.
He did, but then when I seen Khalil Herbert's numbers, I'm like, okay, then I think that need to be a co-MVP because he's right behind him in an even shorter time. So it is a crazy anomaly. I'm not saying that Herbert is better than him. I'm just making a point that the Bears got some really good running backs, and they need. Moving on.
We're not even talking about Damian Williams, who's still on the roster.
He'd be a great number 3. Yeah, next man up type thing.
All right, defensive player of the year, the top 4 for this award: Cleveland's defensive end Myles Garrett, a Pittsburgh linebacker T.J. Watt, game record. He is at plus 400. Myles Garrett is at plus 250, by the way. L.A. Rams defensive lineman Aaron Donald is at plus 700, and Dallas cornerback Trayvon Diggs is at plus 800.
My pick, actually, I was 3 of the 4 was on my list. However, I ended up picking up Trayvon Diggs.
still, even after yesterday's game or this past game.
Man, 26 tackles, 7 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns in the half, and for what his impact has meant to his team and I mean, I don't know if you remember Dallas's defense last year, if you can remember anything, but oh my God, dude, this is a complete 180, if not a 179, but it's just slightly off.
No, so
those numbers are just.
I'm not disagreeing with the numbers. I understand his numbers. My only issue is that he is such a boomer bust corner, because it's either he's getting a pick six or he's giving up a touchdown.
I mean, that's one way of looking at it, but I mean, we ain't gonna talk about all the missed tackles and stuff by some of these linemen and defense.
And
I know they're different positions. I
get that. Now, but when I'm looking at it, it's just I'm like, dude, come on.
If I'm not taking, and I didn't even know the numbers. That was just after me looking through all the stuff. My next guy up was T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt is my pick.
Yeah. That's who I just kind of like, man, because it's just. Cornerbacks don't get no play in these type of conversations ever.
And I get it, but T.J. Watt has been a game wrecker all season long. He'll
be game wrecking next year with the same numbers, and whether they consider him or not, that's neither here nor there. That now, Myles Garrett, outlier, because we already know where those sacks came from. First of all,
yeah.
And moving on, and that's why I was like, I can't really. It was really between him and T.J. Watt. You take either one, it does not matter. I'll take either one. So, I mean, we're looking at Watt's numbers. I mean, he 34 tackles and 11 and a half sacks. I'm like, that's just the number, the two numbers, just his presence. Why he can't play on Chicago? God, why he can't play?
No, I like T.J. Watt.
What am I talking about? Why can't you play for Kansas City? My Lord, could we use some of that type of pressure? But man, something with this Watt gene. I'll take JJ Hurt right now. You can come over here and play. But yeah. So you say TJ Watt, I have no complaints with that. That was who I kind of like. He seems to be the obvious pick, but. Let me take Trayvon Diggs. I thought it was impressive though. 7 interceptions and 2 touchdowns.
Definitely, especially with all the BS that defense was last year. I totally agree with you that he has been very impressive. My only thing is that he is a very boomer bust corner, and I do want to see some more consistency out of my defensive player of the year. Whereas T.J. Watt has been the most consistent defensive pass rusher in the entire league.
Yeah, I would probably be the. Did you know T.J. Watt was going to be a unanimous, and there was some one holdout that gave
this dude?
Like, man, Trayvon Diggs, legit, man. I mean, man,
and you get stripped of your vote next year.
You know what I'm saying? Because I went on the IL. I'm just gonna go out there. I'm going on an island here and just pick him.
All right, NFL comeback player of the year. Top 4 starts off with Dak Prescott currently at a -400.
Okay.
Cincinnati's QB Joe Burrow is at a +800.
Okay.
Pittsburgh completely wrong list. Indianapolis quarterback Carson Wentz is at a +1400. I actually kind of don't know why Carson Wentz is on this list. And San Francisco defensive lineman Nick Bosa is at a +3,000.
Didn't even think about that Prescott at all.
Yeah, so I get that, but I don't like Carson Wentz being on this list for one, let alone being above Nick Bosa. But I'm taking Joe Burrow on this one. I think he has been outstanding. He has been so valuable to the Cincinnati Bengals, on top of the fact that he's coming off of a gruesome injury.
Absolutely. Taking what that list was, and not that I was following that list because I wasn't. My pick is chalk. I had Joe Burrow, actually. I mean, that's funny because I didn't even have that list. I was just doing my own research. I'm like, it's got to be Joe Burrow. Now, I had a few other people where I, could have been in consideration. But man, I didn't even think about Dak Prescott. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
no, I understand why Dak Prescott is the favorite, but
I
he
wouldn't put him
was
over Joe Burrow
yeah,
though.
Joe Burrow. It's the difference is that we know how valuable Dak Prescott already was to this Dallas team,
Exactly.
but even with that, they won a game with Cooper Rush. Like they can still function without Dak.
Cincinnati is relevant. Like
Since
period.
Joe Burrow comes in fully healthy this season, and at some point had Cincinnati at the top of the goddamn AFC.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue like I said, a dark horse pick. You want to say comeback player of the year? His own teammate, Joe Mixon.
Fair.
I'm saying there was just other candidates but no one. I thought he was far and above. The clear cut number one guy. Really, even to your point about Dak Prescott. And I'm like, yeah, we already knew who he was. He just got injured, now he's back. It's not like he made this long journey as comeback. I mean, Joe Burrow comes back from injury and elevates his game.
Yeah.
He's become something more than what he was. He was decent last year, but
This is
he ain't decent.
Yeah.
He's good. I'm like, this is weeks 1 through 3. Sam Darnold right now.
I think I do believe, even though I'm taking Joe Burrow, I do think that at the moment this award would go to Dak Prescott just based off of what voters would do. I believe if Cincinnati makes the playoffs, there should be no reason. If they get that wild card, there should be no reason why Joe Burrow doesn't get comeback player of the year.
Man, don't let him win a playoff game. He would have dealt with Andy Dalton could not do.
They put a statue up of
man,
him immediately.
Like man, since what was his name?
Carson
Quarterback
Palmer?
beat Carson. I was hearing Carson, but I'm like, that sounds off. Yes, since Carson Palmer, I think he got one victory. Moving on.
Wow.
But yes, Joe Burrow is my pick. Which is interesting because I had made up a category of my own.
Oh, what's that?
Which is bounce back player of the year, not comeback.
Okay, let's explore this a little bit.
Comeback may necessarily have something to do with injury. I was out, but bounce back is like, okay, I was just not getting it done.
Oh, so this is where Carson Wentz should fit in.
Could be, but he wouldn't be number one.
Who do you have as the number one bounce back player of the year?
James Conner.
That's a good point you got there over there, Mr. Four. That's
just making a point because I already had him on I already had made him on category. I already had James Conner down when you was talking about offensive play. I'm like, nah, over here already. That dude, 19th in running backs in rushing right now, currently 482 yards.
He's number one in scoring touchdowns. So
10 touchdowns. Just gonna leave it at that. 5.5 yards per carry.
And now he's gonna even get a bigger workload with Chase Edmonds being out. So I like that. I would not disagree with that. I will say it. I'm not saying it's a home run for him because I do think it's a little bit of competition between him and Carson Wentz. If Carson Wentz can continue to be consistent the way that he has been, and he stops having Tennessee type games, then I think Carson Wentz would take the lead on that. But I think fair enough. James Conner should have the lead with it right now, but it's close between him and Carson Wentz.
I like that because I didn't even have a number 2. I was just like hands down. It's right as of right now, going into week 10, it's him. That's the way I looked at that category. I didn't even have a short list. It was like he's just at the top of the list.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then let's talk about the rookies for a little bit. Let's start with the defensive side. Let's talk about the defensive rookie of the year. Odds for this right now: Dallas linebacker Micah Parsons is the front runner at a minus 1,300. Not in 1,300. Minus 130. Baltimore linebacker Jason Owe is plus 800.
I wasn't wondering what he ranked him.
New York Giants linebacker Azeez Ojulari is at plus 1,000. And LA Chargers corner Asante Samuel Jr. is at a plus 1,200.
Really?
Yes. Those are the leading guys right now. Who do you have? I'm sure you have some other guys on your list.
Nah, this was a short list for the rookies, but I got Micah Parsons.
Oh, so you're picking Micah Parsons to be offensive
or
defensive rookie of the year?
That would be my choice.
My choice, surprisingly, not Micah Parsons. I'm taking Jason Owe.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's been. Granted, yes, Micah Parsons came and filled a large role on the Dallas defense, and he is definitely helping them continue to play fantastic football on that defensive side of the ball that was so egregiously bad the year before. To me, though, Jason Owe, he comes in and he fits in this defensive scheme so well.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting the numbers and is having that impact, same as Micah Parsons, but he's also getting the numbers to go along with it. He gets the cleanup stuff. I know Micah Parsons is a more valuable player to his defense, but I think Jason Owe is a more impactful player for his defense.
Gotcha.
That's where I feel like the difference is. Not saying that Micah Parsons isn't ever going to get there. I do think Micah Parsons was the best defensive player in the draft. I think he's still just trying to figure things out, being that he was he came into such a bad defense that whole defense is trying to figure things out, whereas Jason Owe has a good defense around him already, and he's just playing within that scheme.
Okay. Well, we shall see in this second half of the season and go from there.
All right. Let's talk about the offensive rookies of the year. We got a few on this list here. It starts out with Jamar Chase, who has been an absolute insane player as of late. That's all season long, for that matter. Minus 150, he leads the pack. New England quarterback Mac Jones, plus 300, is on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh running back Najee Harris is at plus 1,200, so a distant third. And an even more distant fourth is Atlanta tight end wide receiver Kyle Pitts.
Got my entire short list, and I didn't even use the same information. So wow, I think it's obvious. These are the top four guys. Yeah. Period. I mean, everybody else honorable mention, great and wonderful, but not a serious contender here. But yeah. But to that point, exactly the way you explain it is exactly the way I have it down here. But I think an argument can definitely be made for Chase and Jones, but at the end of the day, it has to be Jamar Chase.
I do think that it is between those two, but I would lean towards Jones being the winner of this award right now. I understand. Here's the only difference that I see. I agree. Jamar Chase is having an insane year. He is playing fantastic football, but I think his offensive efficiency and the Cincinnati offense is thriving so much based on more of it being towards Joe Burrow than it is Jamar Chase. Whereas I think Mac Jones is really coming in and making this whole New England offense hum.
Could be. It could be. I mean, I'm still looking at that touchdown to turnover ratio, which is a little on the high side, but still comparable as far as for being a quarterback. Definitely comparable if being a rookie quarterback, and 15th in the running back, and 15th in QBs overall anyway in the league. So top half, even though they may be at the bottom of that half, but right there in the middle, that's solid. That is something to build off of, which is like I said, if somebody took Mac Jones over Jamar Chase, I get it. If somebody chose Jamar Chase over Mac Jones, I get it.
Yeah.
But
if it's anybody outside of those two, I'm going to be upset.
If we're trying to talk about Najee Harris, as much as I like him, his numbers his usage is not there.
And he's not having that as big of an impact as these other two are having on their team.
Breakout type. He's just a very solid, and that's fine. But that's when you're talking about rookie of the year. That's not going to get you rookie of the year.
Yeah.
You're just going to be a very solid rookie and definitely going to be a solid pro. So, and that's nothing to take. And that's the same thing to Kyle Pitts, and also for Pitts, unfortunately, Atlanta drafted you. So it's
sorry.
I mean, you got some barriers over there to deal with, but nevertheless, still made the list.
Yeah. All right. Well, we round things out with these midseason awards with the, I guess, most important award. Oh, you got something else?
No, I know you. We're gonna say MVP for last, but I got two more personal awards.
All right, let's go through them.
I have an Iron Man award, and I have that dude award.
Mama, there goes that man.
Yeah,
Let's start with that one.
Which is that dude?
Yeah.
With that dude award, you did make mention of this player that it will be remiss not to mention him in some capacity, but um, Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, yes.
It's just like I'm looking at this dude and I'm like, how do you not reward this man for something? I mean, second in currently in running backs in rushing, 821 yards, 140 attempts, 5.9 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns, and and he averages at 91.2. That's wrong. No, don't give me that. No, he's averaging, I believe, 91.2 yards per game.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I had a percentage.
Gotcha.
So 91.2 yards, per game on average. I mean, that's that dude, and I know he was coming rivaling second to Derrick Henry. However, when I looked at the numbers a little closer, he wasn't too far behind him, actually. Derrick Henry just tore everything up so well.
Yeah.
You didn't even pay attention to what Jonathan Taylor was doing. But I'm like, he's not too far. I mean, he was only 100 yards behind him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's going to pass him pretty quickly here. I think a few guys are. I mean, obviously, Derrick Henry has been out for a week now, and basically for 2 weeks. He went out pretty early in that game. So, given it's opening that window for these guys to catch up and put those numbers up. So I mean, but he has been wrecking the league outside of Derrick Henry. He has been a dude that has been carrying that offense. Everything kind of runs through him, and they build off of that.
Right.
So I respect it. I like the award. I don't think I have anybody to kind of rival that award.
It would have been. I mean, I didn't have any.
I mean, if Montgomery didn't go down, it would be him.
I understand, and say that about Derrick Henry if he went down.
True. That is very
true. That would have been the other guy. But that's it's kind of when the smoke cleared. I'm like, okay, I got to get this man his shine now.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor's that guy.
And what's the Iron Man award about?
The Iron Man award is as the adage has been given, is when a player, like basically they play both sides of the ball. They play offense and defense. Just they do it all. They're the Iron Man. Like Mike Dicker was like that.
Mm-hmm.
He played in
Chicago. Played everywhere.
Yeah. So who's doing that in this league today? And that's a couple.
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, I bet you don't. If you had to do a short list, who just give me 3
the
names.
one that comes to mind is Cordero Patterson.
Okay, Cordell Patterson could make that list. I would also, I guess somebody could put Derek. What is it? Derek Felton.
Oh,
shouldn't be on the list, but does multiple things on the field. However, it is not Cordero Patterson. Actually, it is Lamar Jackson.
That's fair.
9th in quarterbacks with 2,209 yards passing. 6th in running backs.
Yeah.
With 600 rushing yards to date. This dude is on pace for 1,200 yards in the season. Two rushing touchdowns.
What is his passing yards at?
Passing yards, 2,209.
He can go ahead and would he be the first 4,000 yard passer and 1,000 yard rusher?
I don't know, but I'm going to Google it because I have to see if the only people that come to mind, of course, is Michael Vick and Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham could have done it. I don't think Michael Vick ever had 4,000 passing yards.
Got to look back in his Atlanta days, early, his first 3 seasons, maybe. But I'm just saying maybe, and but that's just a short list. I don't think anyone has ever done that.
Yeah.
But that's what I seen what this guy was doing rushing wise. I'm like, this dude registered 6 in all rushes in the league. Like, people are getting paid to just run the ball and ain't even running it more than him. And he has 15 registered touchdowns. 2 of them are rushing. 7 interceptions, a 65% completion rate in just 8 games.
Yeah.
That is the Iron Man award. I just wanted to give credit to people like Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Taylor, James Conner. You're not hearing their names being mentioned in anything.
Yeah, but they have been guys that have these guys would be the story of the year as it's going along so far.
Apart from this stuff that's going on up here, like Clink, the Kingsberries and the Cups, and your Michael Parsons and Trevon Diggs and your Joe Burrows and and Jamar Chase, all of that, fine. But I was wanted to make So anyway, those are my 3 extra awards that I wanted to give out. I thought that was the rules here. I was making up category. I'm like, oh, I got a category for you.
Gotcha. I know. I like it because those are things that I would have never even thought of.
I just need you to start me off. You like the original, normal stuff. Oh, but I got some extra stuff.
All right, let's wrap things up with the MVP awards. And I'm actually going to pull up the full list of MVP leaders because I don't agree with how short this list is. But the top 4, as it stands right now,
Rodgers.
He's not on the list.
What?
No,
my MVP.
Not. Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen leads it off with plus 250.
Did they make this last night?
No, no. This is this morning.
So they did see what happened on Sunday.
Yes.
Okay.
And he is still the leader.
They took nothing and they did not factor that in.
Tom Brady leads. Comes up second. It plus 400. Kyler Murray is on the list at plus 700, tied with Matthew Stafford. The full list does include Dak Prescott at plus 1,000. Aaron Rodgers is also on that list at plus 1,000. Should not, and I hate the fact that he has better odds than Lamar Jackson at plus 1,100.
Should definitely be third on the list, if not second.
I don't disagree.
Which is why I had to make a category. Because they're not gonna sit there and people are not gonna look at stuff objectively and say, oh no, that's not the MVP. This dude is doing like freaking playing two positions at the same time. What are you talking about? That by definition is value. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, the lines have moved. Let me fix this. Because I did do this at 8 a.m., so maybe they do the lines at 9 a.m. Okay. Josh Allen is actually a plus 300. Tom Brady is a plus 340. Kyler Murray is a plus 600. Stafford is plus 700. Dak is plus 1,000. Aaron Rodgers is plus 1,000. And Lamar Jackson is plus 1,100. And then, Justin Herbert is a plus 1,200, and the disparity from there is Ryan Tannehill is the next closest guy at plus 3,400.
So let me make this be clear. The MVP can only be a quarterback.
As it is right now, actually the first non-quarterback on the list is at plus 10,000. Who do you think it is?
It has to either be Taylor or Cup. So that's my 2. I don't have anybody else after that.
Cup is at plus 10,000. Jonathan Taylor is the next guy at plus 15,000.
Close. I knew that. I was like, they're gonna give me another name. Like, who is this person that they actually?
Well, the next one right after that is Alvin Kamara at plus 20,000.
Oh, miss me. I was waiting for that type of name to come up. Like, yeah, you're good, but I don't know how you made this list.
Tied though with James Conner at plus 20,000.
That's saying a lot.
That is. I think Conner should actually be higher. I think Conner should be at plus 16,000.
Some of this stuff
directly behind Jonathan Taylor.
But are they basing it on what they've done up to this point, or is it like what they done to this point plus what they think they're going to do?
It's exactly that. It's what they've done to this point plus what they think they're going to do going forward.
Yeah, my stuff is just to this point, literally.
So, with that being said, who is your MVP of the season as it stands today?
It didn't take me long, but who got beat out? Which my runner-up, which was Matthew Stafford. He was my runner-up.
He's my MVP.
He was my runner-up, but when I had crunched the numbers and just for what it was done, and Matthew Stafford, numbers are super impressive in his 9 games. Somebody came in 8 games and did basically the same thing, if not more. The GOAT himself, Tom Brady. I'm just up until right now, I'm not. His numbers are impressive, and now
But
it sounds like
I'm
these people on
taking the
TV.
solace in the fact that you took the guy to, even though he has better numbers in 8 games. Matthew Stafford's got the damn win. So head to head, absolutely made Tampa Bay look like a shell of themselves.
You say that in the wake of his loss, but okay,
Don't give a
I get
damn.
it. Because what about them 2 L's though?
Matthew Stafford is that dude.
They both right there. But I say if it was just to the finish line,
and I'm taking. Hey, I got a better line too. +7. Or sorry, what is it now? No, it's still +700.
It's not my pick for the end of the year. This is based on the caveat if
the
season ended today.
You would take Tom Brady over Matthew Stafford for MVP if the season ended today?
Brady's just a little bit more impressive, man. That's all I'm saying.
Well, then extrapolating that out, who do you think would win going to the end of the season? Your prediction for MVP at the end of the week 19, who gets that award?
Now, if we're going full season, now I got to bring in the Kyler Murrays and the Josh Allens into the conversation now.
I still drop both of them out.
I'm taking Kyler Murray.
I drop both of them out. The only person that I would add into that conversation is Lamar Jackson, but I'd still take Matthew Stafford.
Be a little homer all you want.
Homer? I'm not from. I haven't even been to LA.
Homer and your pick. You just won't move off of it.
I would say it would be actually very close to me moving forward between Lamar Jackson and Matthew Stafford.
And let me say this. That's not any knock. Like I said, he was my runner-up.
Yeah.
But I'm like, now if we're talking about full season and just what I think, going forward, Allen, Murray, Stafford, Brady, Jackson, those 5. I'm noticing Patrick Mahomes, you're not in this.
Yeah,
this
not
is not
this
your
year.
Year.
No.
Sorry.
He already has way too many interceptions to even be considered as a MVP candidate.
He would
this
have
year.
have to do such a Jekyll and Hyde bit, and that's like, it's not even a desperation. It's just like, you know what, this is not that kind of year. Aaron Rodgers has plenty of those years. You're good, but you're just not in the MVP conversation. And of course, Russell Wilson's injury is taking him out of the race. And his team and his coach is taking him out of the race.
All right. Well, those are our season awards for now. That's also the news for now. So you guys go ahead and take that for what it is, and let us know what you guys think down below. If there's anybody you guys would add into these conversations, into these awards, the new awards that have just been created today, and who else you think would fit into those categories as well. Let's have a conversation about that down below. And we're halfway through the season, so let's continue to look forward to the rest of the year, and hopefully it doesn't go by as fast.